desktop? You're familiar with it?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay. So if you're familiar with Ubuntu, then some of the concepts that we've got around the where the menus are and the edges and the tools that we've got will be familiar to you. It's exactly the same operating system that runs on the phone and on the tablet that runs on your desktop PC at home. Let's look at the tablet to start with then. With this is a true multi-user tablet. Each of these users can be encrypted and protected by password so that their email and their pictures and the apps that they're running are not accessible to the other users. So that in an enterprise situation, this is obviously very useful. You can back up your data to the Ubuntu One cloud as well. But in a home situation, you want to give it to your kids or your family, they can use the guest account and then they can play with the tablet without affecting any of your bits and pieces. So let me just get everything reset. Okay, so in order to make best use of the screen real estate, we've pushed all of the controls to the edges. So on the left-hand side, as on the desktop, you get your launcher. Now, typically, the number of apps that you use all the time on your phone and your tablet, it's a much smaller proportion than all the apps you've got installed. So typically 10 or so apps, and this is where you can keep those frequently used apps and make sure that you can get at them very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and launch the gallery. This is our gallery app. We can be scrolling through our pictures. And now let's say that maybe a text message has come in or an instant messenger message and I want to get to that message. What I don't have to do is come out of what I'm doing. I don't have to go back to the home screen, load the settings application, find what I'm doing to change settings and access other apps. I can just do all that from up here. So I pull down, I can drag across the messages, and here are SMSs and IMs and tweets, and I can reply to those in line. And then once I've done, I can just dismiss it and I'm back to what I was doing without interrupting the flow. So that's the top edge. Another example is going right into system settings. I can change the brightness, for example, in here. Very, very easy. Then down at the bottom, we've got the app menu, the context menu for the app that's running. We've got some commonly used apps, commonly used functions down here, but in order to really access the rich features, having a series of buttons along the bottom is quite complicated. So what we can do is a long drag up from the bottom. We're into the HUD, which is the same HUD as it runs on the desktop, and you can search through menus with voice commands or with text. So let's say I want to change the exposure of this picture. Search, choose exposure, and I can start changing the exposure to the picture there, make the changes and I'm done. And now let's say I want to make some crops, do the same thing. C is enough to get me cropped. So you can do proper photo editing on your tablet right there. Then let's go back to the home screen. Let me show you the web browser. We haven't got a Wi-Fi connection, so we've got some pages cached locally. Let's get those up. Okay, so here's some web pages. Let's say I'm looking at the Ubuntu for Phones website, and I'm browsing through and I see a phone on it. I think, oh, that's nice. I'll just take a note of that. I can go into the Notepad app, which loads over here on the side stage. Any app that has been written for the mobile phone can run in the side stage, and you'll see it's about the same size. The scaling all works nicely. So let's put that over to the side. I want to take a copy of this picture, and then I can paste it in there. And I can run more than one app over there. So if maybe I was reading a web page with some prices and I wanted to do a quick bit of maths, I can go to the app screen, load up the calculator, and it loads into the same place. So then I can flip between running out to the side stage over here. So that's a very quick run through of all the key edges on the Ubuntu tablet. If we look at the Ubuntu phone, you'll see it looks very similar, and in fact it works very similarly. We've got the launcher on the left hand side, works in exactly the same way. We can access our menu options from the top, we can reply in line very quickly, Let's have a look at the photo gallery app. It's exactly the same app. So for app developers, writing an app once for Ubuntu means that it will run on the phone or on the tablet with no extra work required. We can flip between running apps on the left hand side. We've got the Notes app there. It's exactly the same Notes app that we saw running on the tablet. So there you go, very quick run through.